as I was saying, Traipse's namespace works like a lightning bolt. You set a start point and you set an end point. It has a feature I call future check, and I will show you what future check does when I look for abilities using the grid. What I get is 14. Traipse's grid reference allows you to first pick rows 1, 2, 3, and then columns 1, 2. And that will return a grid reference. We will try that over here. And not get anything. I will show you a little bit more of how the Traipse model works like a lightning bolt. So I'm going to bring up the backpack here. And I think something may have happened to my standard namespace. I have no idea. It worked with Fedora. So I'll go for E slot 1. I'll do that over here. And then receive backpack. So it follows the path of least resistance. If it finds a node, that's the one it'll use, it will attempt to use. Remember that this is alpha, so there are going to be some bugs. It's going to beta soon, but I'm pretty pleased with it right now. So let me try something in standard that works in Traipse. Okay, I didn't want the backpack. What I wanted was the belt. And that is exactly what I get. I will even rename it my belt. In fact, in order for this to work, I again have to be so specific it totally ruins the context sensitivity of the node, which will be my next point. Right after I call this so specifically. There, I got the backpack. After all of that, I got the backpack. Context sensitivity. This is context sensitivity. So now that I have Fedora namespaced, I'll do an armor check. And it uses TDORAC roller. That's pretty cool, but if I unnamespace Fedora and try that, I get an error. Fedora isn't set up over here, so I'm going to have to use John, which is. Now I'll show you the syntax I'm using. It's an equal sign. This is an internal namespace. So I'm going to look at the strength grid, add that with the abilities grid, and send the roll modifier in my strength roller. Now I got a good blade attack. And John is not highlighted or referenced or anything special. It'll find that. Now I have a second John down here, and I can do something similar. Looks a little different, and you will see that. Get the armor operation up. I'm adding 14 instead of 200. So if I take John, put John beside John, John Alternity by John. I hate that drop down. And you throw, I'll still get 14. Well, over here, I'll get 200. So the Traipse namespace has context sensitivity included in it. And it's this nesting about standard that I have to despise. So let's namespace Fedora again and look at, where was I? The basics. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is TDOR AC roller, the Dex mod. We'll look at this one, TDORA Dex mod. We'll send that, and thankfully it works. So namespace is working here, that's a win. But let's open up this. Do not touch. Don't edit this. This is proprietary. When you're using an open source software, there's the 6 and the 6. When you're using an open source software, having anything that comes with a warning that says do not edit, that's not open source, that's proprietary. And holy Christ, look at all of these nodes. As if grids go blank. Oh, wait. So these are some of the main features about Traipse, the Traipse namespace, the Traipse referencing system, that I find is far more intuitive. There's less guesswork, and there's nothing proprietary. Having a node that explicitly says do not edit this, which is actually a duplicate. It's so huge, it's a duplicate of this node. It's just not open source, and it's something I won't work with. Now that's just some of it. There's a lot more to it, but you get the idea of how Traipse's namespace works. It's only as narrow as you make it, but it's far more intuitive. It's like a lightning bolt. You can set points to it, and the namespace will arc to that point and then look further. I would say that there's more I can do with it, but in alpha, in its current state, I have to say it's far superior to the standard development of namespace, and that's what upsets him. But here it is. You can see it in action, and you can make an educated decision instead of hype and propaganda. This is insanely real.